Let's go for a tier list here. We're gonna do for solo play, but it's not for like winning lobbies. It's for like overall. So like getting lots of kills, getting high placing, stuff like that. So it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, if you want to get, if it's a bad placing, it's like just ping Jackie up here, yeah. The heroes are all pretty close together. So like, the tiers actually mean something here. So let's start with a hero who, in my opinion, is like guaranteed top 3. It's undisputed. You can't even question it. That's Hegen. This hero is insane. This hero, so she might not win all the lobbies, this is the thing. She doesn't win all the lobbies, but you get a lot of kills very easily early game. You have very powerful spikes very early on. Great escapes. You have slows, you have fears, you have roots. You have all the things. What else do you need in life? Really good hero. I think undoubtedly like the best hero in the game. Or top 3, if you even argue that at all. So Shuriken, though, is a lot worse. But it's still Hegen. So you still have all the same mechanics, except your range is now shorter. Your weapon skill is like slightly better, actually. But the damage isn't as there as well. I'd have it around like here somewhere, honestly. We'll mix it up as we go, but like... Let's like put it for here for now. So other hero who's in the top 3, without a doubt in my opinion, is Cecella. This hero is busted. Insane. Same kind of problems, honestly. Cecella does a fuck ton of damage. It's hard to kill. Incredibly OP passive with the regeneration, plus the auto attack bonus damage. Her ultimate does good damage also, has escape tools, catching people tools, can avoid like one-shots. Really good hero. Really good hero. Insane. And that goes for this and also the ball. So same thing with Cecella with the shurikens. Where's the ball one? The throw one's pretty much the same thing. I think it's slightly lower though. Like it's S and A+. They're like super powerful, both of them, yeah? But I think it's just slightly worse. Mainly because like the shuriken skill is really powerful with like pulling them in, dropping shurikens on the ground, stuff like that. So yeah, I think they're both really, really powerful. Pretty much what's going to happen most of these characters is that if they're up here and they're OP, they're like weaker versions of just like a tier or 2 below, for the most part. And I don't know why NA thinks this hero sucks. Because people think Rosie's OP, but like, above Rosie, I have Dalen. I also think this hero is like busted as fuck. This hero has AoE slow, so it's easy to hit this kind of thing here, yeah. AoE slow, AoE damage, avoid damage taken with W, like you have a dodge. You have AoE silence, you have a stun, escape tool, a gap closer. You can like, the silence comes out so slow that it even beats things like Heart's ultimate, like non-stop. And you do tons of auto attack damage. You have amp builds, crit builds, tanky builds, running builds, lifesteal builds. You can do whatever the hell you want in this hero. There's no downside. You just kill people, pick up their loot, and you have a build. It's kind of busted. That's the glove one. The glove one's just better. It has a better skill, and the weapons are better. The nunchucks are really good too, but the skill's kind of useless. The weapons are fine, just there's less options with them. So I have both of them up here. Just slightly worse, but you may as well just play gloves. Counters Jackie really well. Everybody counters Jackie really well. Jackie is not good. I think Jackie is... We're talking B territory here. If you want to talk dual blades, I think she's the first hero who's in the B category. Dual blade, like, lifesteal doesn't do enough damage. You can, like, beat other Jackies and that's about it, which is not good. But if you go amp, you can, like, do the one-shot with the rampage, like Yuki can. But if you want to do that, just play Yuki. Yuki's a straight up better than Jackie at the amp builds. Now, when it comes to dagger, axe, and sword, I think they're better, though. I think they're a tier above. They all allow rat jamming in different ways. This is the thing with Jackie, yeah? You don't get many kills, but you can rat jam really well. And if you get, like, you know, third place, you get, like, a third-party kill here and there, you will gain elo. So, these are all really good options. They're just good in different ways. They're really good, though. I think Jackie's fine, but it's a hard character to grind with over time. Who should we put up next? Who's an annoying hero that I don't like? Ah, Fiora, yes.
You say all this stuff is broken, but you spam heart every game.
That's not very good, though. Fiora. So, that's Spear, and this is Rapier. Fiora is just Unga Bunga #1. If you want to Unga Bunga, you play Fiora. There's only one button and it's forward. You run at people, you press W, you kill them. If you don't kill them, you probably kill them next auto attack. It's pretty insane how good she is, honestly, as a hero. Obviously has issues, but you can snowball super, super hard in the game. Especially in, like, the meta we live in, which is everyone just running down mid. I think Spear snowballs better, but the weapon skill is much better on Rapier for late game. So you can kind of do whatever you want there. They're both really, really powerful. I have sword like slightly below. It's pretty much the same thing here, just worse. But still does tons of damage, just worse than going, you know, actually spear or spear or stabby point. In reality, I don't think Isol is here. I don't think Isol does with these heroes here. He's really strong, but I think Isol's like the tippity top of A for both pistol and assault rifle. I think the thing with Isol, he's a really frustrating hero to fight. He's really like squishy early game. He has stealth though, and people don't have wards early game, which is obviously, you know, kind of hard to get around. But late game on the final point, it's if they've been farming up their trap mastery, nearly impossible to beat him. A good Isol's really hard to beat at the end game. You press Q. I think the Q is the problem because you press Q, you have a slow, or sorry, slow. You have a root. You have a big burst. At like level 6, you can one-shot people nearly with this ability. It's kind of insane. AoE slow, AoE clearing traps out with the W. You have invisibility for escaping. It's insane. Really, really powerful hero. And if you want to make traps, he gets like if you go to traps, he goes like up here somewhere, yeah. But for the average player, it's around here in my opinion. Let's put who should we put up now? Yukai maybe. Let's talk about Yukai. Yukai is really, really good. I think Yukai is one of the best heroes in the game still. The lighter thing kind of hurts him. He can't make as many lighters anymore. But his early game is like actually decent. And you can grief really well. His only downside is that he can't escape. His E, which is obviously his like, you know, the walk ability where he rolls around. You can go over walls, yes. But if somebody's under you, you can't use it. And his hitbox is huge, so it's really hard to use. Not like Yuki's E, where like it's very small in terms of like people being on you. So I have Spear up here. I'd have Dagger slightly lower. Because the Spear is like... Honestly, like, they could be actually the same, honestly. Like, the Spear is like a bit slower. And Yukai like can rad really well because he can't run away, yeah? The Dagger gives you a rad option. So, they're kind of equal, honestly. Like, actually better in terms of strength, but better in terms of surviving the lobby. So you can kind of pick whatever you like. They both build really, really fast. Mount Slicer is kind of rough to build in general, though. You can build the Kana 1 weapon. That's more griefing, but it still works, so it's totally fine. Let's get, who should we get up here? Who should we get next? Chiara. I think Chiara is, like, not that great. But not B tier. She's in the B plus tier, I feel like. Steel is one of the most strongest heroes when it comes to, like, fighting people straight up. You have an ultimate, you're not going to lose. Like, actually somewhat hard to chase due to her, like, her trait and also her E root. Pretty powerful stuff. And also the ultimate, you just can't beat her in a fight. You have to run away for the most part. If she can ult and get a fight going, she'll kill you. If not, she will be in trouble. Lord Smiggle, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Chiara, yeah, she has issues though. She can run away, but certain heroes who can, like, get around the route, bam, 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 these heroes don't give a shit. So it's a bit rough for them, in my opinion, for her. But she's still fine. One of the best ultimates in the game. Amazing team fighter. That's big damage. I haven't know if she is A, but now I would say B. What, Chiara? The Chiara, like, if we're talking like a month ago, 2 ago, she'd be up here somewhere. Chiara was really powerful, but right now doesn't really have the things going for her. And also, rapiers are a bitch to build. They're all 3 zone. And this game is super aggressive early game. You have people playing sniper IAR and like whatnot, and they just run you over. It's pretty bad. Kaboo, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Let's get a hero who everybody thinks is bloody awful. And honestly, is a bit awful. Lennox. They have nerfed this hero way too much in my opinion. I don't know why she got so many nerfs. She is still really, really good. She does tons of damage. It's AoE. Silencers are always powerful. Movement displacement. The whip's weapon skill is pretty powerful too. But you're melee, and you have no way of chasing that well. You have the whip weapon skill, but that's like 1 in a million. And you can like kind of like run away with W, possibly. A bit of movement speed here and there. When your best option to run is just like straight up running, and no like dashing around, you're in it for a rough time. She's completely fine though in like squads and duos. This hero is one of the best, if not like top 5. It's just for solos, it's a bit more rough when people can outrange you. But I will say, Lennox has some of the most polarizing matchups in the entire game. If you run into like a Heart or you run into like a Shuichi, you destroy them. You're at this range where they can't hit you, but you can hit them with your Q still, and you're doing tons of like optimal pure damage from like being in the sweet spot, and then they're getting smashed pretty much. So she's fine, but like, again, it's B, but honestly not a big gap between them, personally. Let's talk about the newest guy in the game, maybe, Luke. Okay, if this was Luke Day 1, Luke Day 1 is like around here somewhere. Luke Day 1 had amazing range, amazing damage, no escape tools though, but he was like the pure assassin. Insane early game, a bit weak late game. Now, they've just nerfed him a bit too much in my opinion to be up there. He can't rat at all. His damage is way down. We're talking like 30% at max level on W, and then like early game like 50% on W, and that was like most of your damage. He needs to like be reverted a little bit on the nerfs, I feel like. The Q range should go back up, in my opinion. The damage is like doable, it's fine right now. But in saying that, people are still finding builds with Luke all the time. Like, people are playing a lot more Amp Luke recently, like on hit style stuff, which was like popular day 1, but people are going like Umbrella and stuff, instead of going the statue weapon. So, he could go up possibly, but I wouldn't see him anywhere. He's nowhere near this tier. At best B+, in my opinion. Who should we talk about now? Oh, Rosie. Everyone's saving Milkers. Rosie? Okay. She's really good. She's really, really, really good. But I don't think she's S tier. I think she's like... She's over here with these boys. By the way, it's not ordered in the tiers, by the way. Rosie is insane. The biggest thing for Rosie's advantage is the build options. You go the really like gimmicky beach dock hospital, you get a full build in like 4 minutes. You have like 2,500 HP and you just win the lobby from there. You run at people, they can't run away, no one has shoes that early because, you know, your build's crazy, pathing, and you destroy the whole lobby. The problem is though, you have shit range and you are practically a melee hero. And your E doesn't work half the time either. So it's a bit rough at times. But she's still amazing. You run it down mid, you press W, you AoE everything down, you clear up all the chickens, all the animals, clear up the people at the same time. Tons and tons of damage, great upgrade options. Even though you get that build really quickly, you can upgrade like the helmet, the boots, the weapon can get upgraded to like things like Boa, or even Celt late game. Even Emerald Tablet's an option, that's how tanky this build is. The one you play with Rosie. She's really good. But she doesn't have, I don't think she's as impressive as the heroes above. But she's like on the edge. She'd be like S- if I had an S-, but there's no S-. Let's talk about, Adriana. Adriana's obviously B, but I don't think she's that bad. Even though she's B, she's like probably ahead of some of these heroes, honestly. Like, probably ahead of Jackie, if this was like actually lined up properly. Adriana does like insane damage. It's actually crazy. She burns people all day long. With Wick buff, she's insane. Her throw damage, like when you swap the weapons out, you just get murdered by people, or she murders even. I feel like the oil is a bit of a problem when it like the CC, when you burn it, they stop getting like slowed or whatever. Not slow, they stop getting they can't use their movement abilities. I think that's kind of a problem. She's hard to balance though, man. If you give her too much, she will be super oppressive. Because she can be oppressive. When you're running, you can't get away from an Adriana. She throws the Molotovs at you, you get slow, you get knocked back slightly, you're running through the fire, which slows you again. It's pretty rough. Lennox is triple S tier. Maybe an EU. Maybe an EU. But yeah, Adriana, I feel like all the heroes are fine, honestly. This is why the gap is actually pretty small between them all. Like, these heroes are a bit rougher, but for the most part, these heroes have other options, except for these three here. They have no other options. Good balance. I think one of the best designed heroes in the entire game. I think Sylvia is a great, like, super fun hero. Well designed. You actually got to use your brain. There's a mixture of plays and builds. She's really, really good in my opinion. But there's nothing, like, amazingly OP. She, like, snowballs reasonably well, but not insane. If she's behind, she can still, like, rat around the map. She literally rats to get her passive up. So it's, like, not too bad to get done. And I think she's, like, honestly a really fine hero. You can win lobbies, get kills. You can always place really highly if you want to rat it out. Really solid. But I don't think she snowballs as heavy as some of these other heroes above her. That's kind of her issue. Plus, she's pistol, which instantly means certain heroes, again, a bit like Lennox, against Lennox, like, you just get destroyed if they're, like, pseudo-melee heroes like that. But she's fine, though. Really good. Let's get Zahir out of the way. So, I think Zahir, if, like, if people were good at the game, Zahir would be insane. Because you can land all the skill shots, it's hard to catch, he presses W, walk backwards, you land the Q, you have AoE knock up, land into the ultimate, but he doesn't really his ultimate is like nearly useless. The ultimate, like, you can put it down and people walk around it, but think of other ultimates in the game. When you get hit by a Hegen ultimate, you die, you get feared, you're done. Dalen ultimate, you're stunned, you're probably dead also. Fiora's ultimate's a passive, Yukai is melting you to death. Rosie's doing half your life with the explosion, stuff like that. Zahir, his ultimate just doesn't do anything anymore. It's like area denial. It's a smoke bomb, but that's your ultimate. So it's not very good. Couch ups and like throw are pretty much the same. They're both whatever, really. Couch ups is a better like ability, but the throw has better weapon options. The marble's really good for him. So you can kind of pick your poison there. But you can still win on him, obviously. You do insane damage. As I said, hard to catch if you're playing melee heroes against him at times. He's very fast if you get the hits. But if you miss a hit, you lose. That's kind of the problem. You miss a Q, nothing happens. He probably needs like the Cecella treatment where like he gets a passive where he does more auto attack damage, but we don't need more Cecellas in the game, obviously. We don't need any more of that shit. Yeah, well, this isn't a duo or squad thing, but in duos and squads he's fine. This list changes massively for those kind of game modes. This is just for solos, and it isn't for winning, it's for like placing highly and also getting kills, which is what you need for getting high elo. If you get first place, or second place, sorry, you get first place, you gain elo. If you get second and 0 kills, you don't get anywhere. But like 1 kill, high placing, all that stuff really matters. Let's get, ooh, the ayayayayas. Ayaya. So I feel like assault rifle, if we had like perfect builds, we all started with like a shop vendors, buy everything we want. I think Sniper IAR is like the best hero in the game. But it's really hard to build, it's super slow, it's finicky, you have to get things like Tree of Life, that really holds you back. But it's still really, really powerful. The reason why this assault rifle's here, like, it's easier for Isol due to the pathing, but also the weapons you choose on those heroes. Isol goes like the crit stuff kind of thing, yeah. And she goes more E and AD. But you can go E and AD also, obviously also on Isol. But the other ones I have much higher, or not much, one tier above pretty much. I have Sniper and Pistol up here. So the new meta with these two is going these like griefing amp builds. The difference between both of them is that the pistol weapon skill lets you like apply pressure a lot on them, and also it's a bit faster to build, and also you get a bit more like Q damage, especially now after nerfs to the Q. The pistol has a lot more Q damage. The sniper rifle one, it is insane damage. You murder people. Like you press W, they hit 3 times, they're dead. The problem is that's all you got. You got no auto attacks. Your Q scanning's a bit worse now than it was beforehand. You've been nerfed slightly. It's just a bit worse in general. But the weapon skill is really fun. The thing with the pistol is you know, Q, W, you make a mistake, press weapon skill, you can roll again, you can snipe again. Oh, so you can't snipe, you can Q and W again. It's a lot safer. And you can even build tanky on the pistol one, but on the sniper one, you kind of have to go all in with like the exploiting, the griefing. So you have to go all out, and it's kind of like risky in that regard. Cap out, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Yeah, amp just one-shots you? Exactly, yeah. Exactly. It's kind of insane. The pistol one's a bit more balanced though. I think the pistol is better, but if you want to have fun, play the sniper. That's one of the few ranged characters that I actually play. It's so funny, you snipe people for half their life sometimes, depending how fed you are. Hyun Wu is like really good. I think the problem with Hyun Wu is like his matchups. How good he's in a fight depends on how dumb the other person is and where you're fighting. So if you're fighting, let's put him in 80 to stuff, he's very powerful. If you're fighting someone with half a brain, it's pretty rough for Run Wu because they just, you know, stay out of your E range, don't get near walls, stuff like that. If you're versing somebody who is like from NA possibly, they just like hugging walls the whole time, yeah, because, you know, they build the wall. So that's a lot easier. Also, but yeah, Hyun Wu is fine. He's actually really good. He's really good. You punch people all day. Any build you want works. You can go amp. You can go tanky. You can go crit, auto attacks, whatever you want. But if you're near a wall, he's gonna pound you. You're gonna have a bad time. That's kind of the problem with Wu. But you can play these run builds, get the Bloodwing weapon, whatever it is, and just punch them all game. It's all good. It's all good. The Tomphas, if you want to play amp, Tomphas are really fun, actually. They're really fast. They're one zone, a lot of the weapons. Not the plasma one, even the other one's like really quick, like 2 zones. But slightly worse. The weapon skill, though, if you hate IAR, the weapon skill, it's a reflect, and you can weapon skill against IAR and one-shot it back. So if you really hate IAR, maybe Tomphas are the S tier for you, but Tomphas are just slightly worse, pretty much. The biggest thing is that all the gloves are good. Like, every single glove in the game you can use. So if you kill a Dalen, or you see a dead one, you just pick up her gloves, bam, you got a build. You're ready to go. Whatever you want works on Hyun Wu. Tombit's slightly worse, as I said. Just doesn't really work out. But it's still really powerful, because Hyun Wu is powerful. Who do you want to get in here next? Should we talk about my boy Yuki a little bit? My boy Yuki? I have to keep moving each other's shit. Yuki is very good. He can run away very, very well. He does extreme damage. His ultimate, if it lands, is insane. He can chase people down, run away. He has all the things. He has a stun on a Q, which is like you can't even miss, similar to Emma. The thing with Yuki, though, is that he's melee. The melee conundrum. But he's really fine. Now you have two hand and you have the dual blade. The thing is, the two hands is a lot more consistent. The dual blade is rampage. Like, Yuki could have like no abilities and just have rampage and you'd be a viable hero. That's kind of the problem with Yuki with dual blade. Same as Jackie over here. So, because of that being consistent, I have two hand better than dual blade. I don't have any of them in S tier. I think these three heroes are a mile ahead, but he's really, really solid. AoE ultimate's always pretty funny, but the thing is, a lot of these newer heroes are counteracting it, and also, if you have half a brain, you can just like walk through the ultimate. Like, Q and the ultimate is not a guaranteed combo, so it's actually like not as easy as it may look. But he can run away really well, he can chase really well, his sword builds are really, really safe. It's a really solid hero overall. There's nothing too wrong with him. If anything, he has like the thing with some of these other heroes up here where like, well, he's an A+, yeah. They can do lots of stuff at the same time, that's what you can do. Okay, the thing with Dual Blade is it's all these amp builds, and you rampage, and you kill everybody. That's so one-dimensional. If you have no rampage up, you lose instantly. And that doesn't really work in like a proper game. People have wards down and visions being checked and whatnot. And if you get like third party, you lose. But if you want to have fun, Dual Blade is a good option there. Yuki, good hero. Nadine has a bad early game, according to the developers. She doesn't. Nadine's early game is disgusting. If you've ever been to archery range like second or third zone, and she just charges up the bow, boom, half your life's gone. And you're like, oh, sick. I guess I'm leaving archery range now. Like, there's nothing you can do about it early game. That's the thing, though. It all comes down to the Q. The hero also requires a lot of farming through the animals. And because of that, she has like really good games and bad games. Because sometimes you have lots of Jackies, or lots of heroes like Dalen, or even Cecella, stuff like that, who can just kill all the monsters really easily. And Nadine gets no farm. But if you get farm on Nadine, whoa, it's free. Especially in the lobbies right now, where everybody's just like running it down mid-inting and like 5 people remaining for the last 10 minutes, you can farm up a Storm on Nadine incredibly well. Now, I have the bow lower than the crossbow. In saying all that, I don't think she's like crazy OP. Maybe she could be up here actually. Maybe Nadine could be up here. Maybe? Put both up a tier maybe? Crossbow is incredibly powerful. Crossbow is super powerful. The knockback does 1 billion damage, but also it stuns. So if you fight her, kind of like Hyun Wu in like certain areas. I didn't mention that Hyun Wu, did I? I forgot. Depending where you're fighting, your hero goes from like B tier to like S tier. You fight in school, you fight in alley, you fight in factory, maybe even a bit of dock. There are so many walls that you just get pounded non-stop. It's like one of those Japanese action videos. Non-stop poundage and you just have a bad time. So I think crossbow is insane. Even though the bows are very good, like as weapons, they're just worse. Because the weapon skill, even though it's good, it's not good for what Nadine does. Because Nadine needs to plan herself down and just like run at people, just turret them down. As bow, you don't care about delayed damage, you don't want that. So bow's a bit lower. It could be B+ or even B. I do have the crossbow higher though. That's pretty much like the main point there. And obviously, why would you pick both me crossbow? Who do we have left? Emma, Harden, Magnus, and Shuichi. Okay. So let's go Magnus. You got the bat and you got the hammer. One thing people don't know is that you can like it's always better to go hammer pretty much, because you can get the hammer start and you can even go bat still, and hammers are like harder to find. So it's weird. So in squads, this hero is like the best. Like if you play squads, dude, pick Magnus every game. He's like the best hero in the game. It's a bit harder for him, I feel like, in solos. Again, it's like matchup dependent, but he can rat like nobody's business. You have, like, early game, you can't kill him. He has a white weapon, you have purple, you lose still. He's insane. He has slows, he has stuns, he has pushbacks if you don't stun, he has the buck to get away. It's insane. And if you have, like, the bat skill, you can push him back. Obviously, the hammer does a bunch of damage to actually kill people. It's really, really powerful. Honestly, people sleep on him a little bit. He could maybe go up, but it's a tier list. Someone has to be bad. He is definitely really, really solid, though. All the hammers and the bats are kind of annoying to make. It's kind of the problem. And nerf statue last patch, which is what bat people are going with quite a bit. So now you have to go hammer a bit more. The amp hammers are good, but the path thing is kind of scuffed. But it's pretty easy to get things like Magic Stick and the Morning Star, because you're using Moonstones. So it's really easy to get, like, improved weapons. So you can even, like, not build the weapon if you don't want to and just, like, pray for a Moonstone randomly. And you can play amp, you can play auto attack, ratting build, all the things work. He's really, really cool. Good variation there. The three musketeers at the end here, the K-pop idols, the rock stars, and the businessmen. Should I get... Let's leave... let's get Heart in there. Let's get Heart in there, because, man... Heart's my bae recently, yeah? Heart's my girl. I don't think Heart's that good. Heart is so polarizing. And it's mainly because of E and AD builds. The hero itself has, like, amazing toolkit. Has a slow, can dash over walls multiple times. You can play, you know, musical chairs with people. It's amazing. It's such a satisfying character. You have the charm, but you're missing a skill. You have no W. Your skill does nothing at all. It's absolutely useless. Now, it doesn't work for amp builds. It helps a little bit. It doesn't do much for amp builds. It does nothing at all for E and AD. If you play, like, attack damage, maybe, but that's not a thing for Heart right now. That ability just doesn't work. It's kind of sad. So you're playing with 3 abilities only, or the charm is, I guess, the 4th one. The ultimate also, isn't the best. Like, it stops people from doing stuff, but, you know... What happens, the third party comes in, they see you dancing, playing music, they come and kill you instantly. It's easy to get, like, CC'd out of. Heroes like Yuki, heroes like, Dalen are really easy to, like, knock you out. Even, like, Cecella, all these, like, delayed CCs interrupt your ultimate. Because even though you can't interrupt Yuki ult, you can't interrupt Cecella ult, you can't interrupt... Actually, you can interrupt Cecella, I think, now. You can't interrupt Yukai ult. For some reason, you can interrupt Heart ult, and it just means you just get grooved half the time with the ult. She's really powerful if she can get going, though. And also, no HP. No HP at all. And that's an E and AD problem, as I mentioned at the start. You have to go Laurel, you have to go Crusader Armor, you have to go Veritas. Obviously, you have a weapon of some kind. That's 4 weapons, or 4 items. Now you have an arm slot and a pair of boots. So, you have to get attack speed because you're playing E and AD. What do you go for? Cube Watch is the best by far. It has the most defense and attack speed. None of the health items have attack speed on them, so they're bad. And then boots, you have rhinos or feathered boots, and they don't give you HP either. None of the boots give you HP. Hermes work, but defense doesn't matter. You have Cube Watch, you have Crusader's armor. I've had 200 armor as hard, and get killed by Yuki's with weapon skill, and that's it. They go, oh, I see you. You just die. It doesn't matter how much armor you have. If your HP is like 1400, at the final point, you're gonna die to random ults. Or random, like, you know, skill shots here and there. It's rough. But she's really, really powerful. So, it's a bit polarizing. Anyway. Let's get Shuichi in here. Oh, Shuichi. Everyone's favorite. Shuichi's the best hero in Korea, apparently. Pretty much. I think Shuichi's, like, totally fine. Shuichi's, like, not the worst hero in the game. He's definitely not the worst. He's not the best. He's not the worst, though. Shuichi's ability to just, like... If you can get your weapon... Just to destroy people early game. You just murder them. You do so much damage. You're teleporting around the map. There's daggers everywhere. They don't know what's happening. You've got high martial because you're killing people. It's insane. The problem is, if you don't get a weapon, you're losing pretty much. And you have to go to Forest, and Forest is very scary. Everyone goes Temple, Temple School, Forest, so you all go in the same path. If there's another Shuichi, you're griefing each other. You're running into, like, Hegens. At Forest, it's not a fun time. It's a bad matchup early game. But if you can get going, you're an incredibly powerful hero. One thing going in his favor, though, is that if you start doing bad, you can rat a little bit. There's a bit of ratting going on with the weapon skill, and W is okay. You're not the best at running away, but you're not the worst either. You don't just, like, walk away. I have Shuichi B. Again, not ordered within the tiers themselves. He's fine. He, like, destroys squishies. And that's kind of the problem. These heroes up here, they all build really tanky for the most part. All the heroes down here don't build tanky, maybe besides like this character and this character and this character. Like, they all go squishy. Like, you're playing Jackie, you're squishy, Hard, you're squishy, Zahir, squishy. You just get murdered by Shuichi, so you're just like killing all the scrubs together pretty much. But he's totally fine. He's really good. If you like Shuichi, go play him. I don't think he's the worst hero in the game or anything like that. Last but not least, everyone's favorite cosplaying maid person, Emma. Emma is pain. I don't know if she's S. I think she's really close. Out of all the heroes that go up a tier possibly, I think Emma and Rosie are the two closest. They go up a tier to like the S tier. Emma has so much movement. You can't catch her ever. She's bouncing around the screen. A click and point CC, which requires no skill at all, is super valuable in this game. The only heroes with any sort of like CC or movement abilities who have that in the game, you have Yuki with a Q on his Q stun, which is 0.5 seconds, by the way, and requires cufflinks. And you have Magnus E if you knock him the right way. That's the only guaranteed CCs in the entire game, I'm pretty sure. So it's kind of insane. But, depending on how the Emma player plays, it's really easy to beat sometimes. Because the whole thing comes down to if her W hat gets a CC on. You know when you put the hat over there and you TP, because you're getting killed by Jackie obviously, and Jackie gets hit by the CC from the hat and then she's dead pretty much. If that misses, you win as Jackie. But it's so hard to avoid. It's incredibly hard to avoid. And plus you put them into a CC, you press on them, you hit the polymorph, you land the W, you land a Q, put the shurikens down, the guy's dead. Insane hero. The more I speak of her, I honestly might move her up to S. Goes in the Emma tier. Yeah. I don't think even her early game is even that bad. Like, they keep buffing her early game, nerfing her end game. Her early game's already fine. Have you tried fighting Tree of Life as Heart against an Emma? Oh my god, it's not fun. I think she's really good. I don't know if I want to put an S- tier in there though. She's there, yeah. She's like right there. Yeah, you have to land your shit, don't get me wrong. But the ability to press E and polymorph somebody and get guaranteed follow-up is insane. Catch-ups are good also. You have typical shuriken shit where you just throw them down and you can't run through them. They pretty much have Zahir ult, but has weapon skill. And does more damage probably also. I think polymorph, I don't understand why they keep buffing polymorph. Polymorph is the problem. Like, she does a ton of damage, she's slippery, sure, but the polymorph is the thing, is she gets all the follow-up. She just dances around, plays musical chairs for a while, and she lands the E, and you die. You take half your life in damage. It's crazy. She's very strong. But so are the rest of the heroes in this S tier, or A tier, sorry. That all the heroes? I think that's a pretty good tier list. I think the game's pretty close to overall, honestly. The reason I have S and B, the numbers actually matter, or the lettering, sorry. If you're playing Hegen, and I'm Jackie and I'm playing Dual Blade, I wouldn't be playing Dual Blade anymore, but if I'm playing Dual Blade, and I'm getting on a bit of a run, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna just run through your CC, have better boots than you will have, I'll have weapon skill, I will just do a ton of damage, if you fetch a bush, stuff like that. There's so many factors in this game when it comes to who's gonna be the victor, that it's pretty rough, honestly, to say who's a definitive best hero. You can give you heroes that are consistent, or overall have an easier time playing with. You can play any hero in this game and win games. The #1 ranked player for a very, very long time, in Korea obviously, because no one plays ranked anywhere else, was an Adriana player. And I think he's still top 5 or top 10. No one likes Adriana, no one thinks she's good, but you can do well with them. She's very, very, very good. But every hero is, in the right situation.